Playing imps, we have had an indelicate auction to 6 no trump, and we've gotten a heart lead. Although you don't need to make a complete plan yet, pause the video right here at trick 1 and consider the play. And now that you have finished considering and have unpaused the video again, we'll continue. Frankly, our prospects aren't very good. We're going to lose the ace of clubs, which means we need to take everything else. We've got 2 top spades, 4 diamonds, and 2 clubs after we lose the ace. I think we have to assume that the king of hearts is on side, so we can take at least 3 heart tricks. And when we let the heart ride around to our 10, it holds, bolstering our hopes that the king is indeed with West. If there's only one way to make the contract, we need to play as though that's definitely how the cards lie. But that still only brings us to 11 tricks. What can we do for a 12th? Pause the video again and make a complete plan. And now that you have finished planning, we'll continue. If the king of hearts is an onside doubleton or tripleton, we could get a 4th heart trick after it drops. But given the opening lead, that seems very unlikely. And if West led from 4 or more hearts, then we only have 3 heart tricks even if the king is onside, because we can't lead the suit from our hand another time. What else could we try? If the queen of spades is onside, we could get a 3rd spade trick on the finesse. That will work about half the time. If the queen of spades is offside, but the 10 is onside, there is a surrounding play. We could run the jack, and then, if East covers, play the king, and then finesse towards the 9. But that will only work about a quarter of the time. Unless we can tell for sure that East has the queen, let's ignore this plan. Before the end of the hand, we will have lost the ace of clubs and developed 11 other tricks, so there will be just one more loser still in question. That sounds like we will have satisfied condition L of blue. Could there be a squeeze? Let's look for threat cards. We have no unaccounted for tricks in the minors. The jack of spades is a threat card, guarded only by the queen. Dummy's last heart is also a good threat, guarded only by the king, held by West. Let's check blue. We'll hope that West is busy holding the queen of spades in addition to their king of hearts. As long as the defense takes their ace of clubs on one of the first 2 club tricks, and I'd be very surprised if they don't, we will have only one loser remaining at the end. Both threats are upper of West, so they are the only opponent we could squeeze. But this is okay. They're the only opponent who could be busy in the first place. Since both threat cards are in dummy, we'll need the squeeze card to be in our hand, and we'll need an entry to the board in one of the threat suits. It could be in either one, but the spade entry seems easier to deal with. We'll take another heart finesse before then and cash the ace as a Vienna coup, just in case it drops the king. So all of blue will be satisfied if West is busy holding both guard cards. What are the chances of that? Normally, I'd say a little worse than 25% because we'd need them to have 2 specific cards. However, we're already assuming throughout this board that they've got the king of hearts, and we did win the first trick with the 10, suggesting that perhaps they do have it. So maybe all we need is for them to have the queen of spades. But that's all we would need for the finesse to work, too. So those 2 plans, finessing the spade and trying for a major suit squeeze, seem equivalent since they both rely on West indeed having the queen. What if East has the queen of spades? The finesse won't work, but the squeeze might still work if the queen shows up unprotected. So those are our 3 possible plans. See if the king of hearts drops onside tripleton, take the spade finesse, or squeeze West in the majors. The chances of that first plan working are very low, and the 3rd plan is preferred over the second one, assuming West has the king of hearts. Could we combine multiple plans together? After flushing out the ace of clubs, we could try dropping the heart before doing anything with spades. We need to lose the club before then, because otherwise an opponent could win the ace of clubs and cash the top heart. Let's plan out the details. We're going to flush out the ace of clubs, Then try dropping the heart guard. So the suit without the entry will be hearts, and the guard to watch for is the king of hearts. We don't need to count any other suit. We'll also need to unblock the diamonds as a Vienna coup. That can happen at any time, so let's do that first in case we have transportation or timing issues later. After that, we can flush out the ace of clubs, and I think the opponents are very unlikely to hold up for several tricks. They win the first club and return another club to us. We should test the hearts while we still have control in the other suits, just in case East has the king and tried something sneaky at trick 1. So we'll win the club in our hand and take the finesse. When the finesse works, but the king of hearts doesn't drop tripleton, we can cash the final club as another Vienna coup. Then get to our hand in spades to play the squeeze card, the final diamond. West has held on to their heart guard. If they were busy, they're now down to the bare king of hearts and bare queen of spades. We can discard the heart and try developing the spades. When West plays low on the spade, we know they were never busy to begin with, so we never satisfied blue and the squeeze won't work after all. Should we try the spade finesse instead? Absolutely not. We know West's last card is the king of hearts, and East definitely has the queen of spades, so the finesse won't work. But there is one last chance. Perhaps East started with the doubleton queen and it will drop. If you've been counting, you already know how this ends. Indeed, it does drop. 6 no trump bid and made using a show-up squeeze. There is a British bridge teacher named Alan Jones who goes by Cedar on BridgeBase Online. I have put a link to one of his lessons in the video description below, in which he goes through 4 more examples of show-up squeezes for you to practice on.